moves in space with minimum waste and maximum joy. City lights, business nights, when you require streetcar desire for higher heights. No place for beginners or sensitive hearts, when sentiment is left to chance. No place to be ending, but somewhere to start. No need to ask, he's a smooth operator. Smooth operator. Smooth operator. Smooth operator. Coast to coast and LA to Chicago, Western Mail, across the north and south to Key Largo, love for sale.
$20.
That's Sade. I'm going to say 1985, but you know why I sang that one?
Why is that?
Because today's special guest is the Drunken Monkey, and he's the smoothest operator I've ever met, right? No bullshit, right? So let me introduce this as to why I sang that little cracking song, right? This is Invert the Why episode, Captain's Log, State Log, 12.1.5.9, and the USS Invert the Why is orbiting another planet of retrodom and bullshit. And today, as I just said, we've got a very special guest, the Drunken Monkey, and alongside me is Jason Relaxation, the silent one. You know why he's silent?
Because I have to push buttons to make this thing work.
But we're going to say some shit, Drunken Monkey, that he won't like, so he's going to be very quiet. But going back to the smooth operator, no bullshit, you're the smoothest cat I've ever met. And you know what? You know what? Roll it, monkeys.
Fuck me. That's a new record, man. We're less than a minute into the recording.
Yeah, you got to get it done. Get it over with. You know what? We go back to 2016.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm about to say, don't you? Right.
Can I say hello to your listeners, all three of them?
There's only two today.
Yeah, and to your mum, because I'm waiting for the fairy bread. But yeah, go on.
That's for cup of tea later on, mate.
That's half time,
no
bro.
problems.
That's the half time.
Hello, listeners.
Thank you, Drunken Monkey.
You're welcome.
No, so we go back to 2016.
Yeah.
And you like your shoes.
Oh yeah.
And I like shoes too. But well, you kind of got me in the shoes, and we were traveling through America. Like we're going from Dallas to Miami and back again.
Yep.
And at some point during this trip in 2016, we were at a shop looking for shoes. And you're going through a whole bunch of shoes, as you always are. And then the shopkeeper there or the store person's there, they're running around getting 100 shoes for you. You've got like a million shoes like Cinderella. Like going through all these shoes like Cinderella, right? It's a cracker. Anyway, you put on a pair of Adidas something. They were like...
neons. They change colour.
Yeah. Now let me just put it out to you. You put it on. You put these shoes on and this African-American woman walks past you and goes, "Brother, be fine wearing them shoes."
No,
True story.
Well, actually, you're just about right. But remember, we were actually in the Treme in New Orleans in a cafe because I wanted to go to this cafe in the Treme. Yeah. And I said to you, because I watched the show, and we went in there to get a coffee.
That's right.
And we were waiting, and it actually wasn't my neons, it was my blue and white Superstars. Right. Yet again. Yeah. Yours were a bit messy. So this African-American lady walks in.
You know what? She didn't look at me, man.
Well, she looks at my shoes and she goes, "Brother, them shoes, they be fine." And you turn around and goes, "What about mine?" She goes, "His be fine." And you just put this small. It's like, I'm out of here.
I was done. Yeah. I felt so small. And I walked out of that shop and went, "Fuck this." And you were pissing yourself. Remember all the shoes we went through, right?
Oh, man.
We went through so many shoes, right? And there was a pair of shoes, they were Converse. I think they were Converse. And they were the Joker Batman shoes.
Yeah, you had the Joker Batman. You had the Nintendo Vans.
Still got them, yeah.
Yeah. In the box. We bought so many shoes.
Yeah, oh man. You got me into shoes.
Yeah.
And then we found a pair of Reebok pumps. Yeah. Remember that? The original
Reebok
Reebok
pumps.
pumps.
Reebok pumps.
Right? Because in the States, everything's
Well, I
there.
actually got into shoes in London. Because I was basically shopping for you. I was going, man, you've got to have these. And you just paid for them. A bit like yesterday, when I called him yesterday, and I was at a vinyl store. And I'm going, there's U2 here. Yeah. There's a original Kraftwerk album. And he's going, yeah, I love that. I have that. It came to about $100.
Yeah.
I ended up walking away with nothing. I thought, here we go again. I've just spent Dan's money.
Yeah. He does that all. Ask him about. Here's another rant for you. Take mum pillow shopping. He does the same sort of thing.
Yeah, but same thing. Go shopping with mum. Before you know it, you got decorative pillows. You don't even know what you're doing with them.
Hundreds of dollars worth of decorative.
Hundreds of dollars of decorative pillows. And something called a Valance. Never heard of it. Don't know what the hell it is. Seriously, it's bad going shopping with mum. She walks around and goes, I think that this is the most embarrassing low moment of my life. I'll tell you, because you're one of my...
Is it Kingswood Country or a Ram?
This is...
Both. Somewhere in between.
Let's go with Kingswood Country. We go shopping with mum, and because you're one of my best good friends, you'll appreciate this. And mum's going through, I don't know, she thought my like quilt cover was like dodgy or old or something. So she says, I'll get you a new quilt cover. So anyway,
it stops.
It did have Justin Bieber on it.
Yeah. How old were you at this point?
35.
Oh, baby. Oh.
Baby. Ooh, baby. So anyway, I'm going through. No, this is no. I'm not making this up. This is true. Yeah. You know my mum, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can see this happening, right? And we're going through, and we're at like, I don't know, betting places. I didn't know what I was doing. I was so confused. All I knew was my credit card was getting smashed, right? Anyway, we buy this ensemble. I don't know what it is. And then mum comes back to my place. She puts it all together. And I said, Mum, I'm not being funny, but I think I might look a little bit, not that there's anything wrong with that. And Mum goes...
Most of the listeners go, what do you mean?
Well, I can't say it because in this politically correst environment, you can't say. I'm trying to be good today. You know what I mean? Trying to help you out, right?
It was the Pet Shop Boys.
That's right. West End girls. And so we're there, and Mum says, "What's your problem?" I go, "Well, I just think I look a little bit like I got decorative pillows now, Mum." And Mum goes, "If I was a young woman, I'd embrace it." I go, "Oh, that's it, done." I just wanted to die. It was the most horrific thing a mother could ever say to her son. Oh God! Drunken Monkey, thanks for coming in.
No problems. Thanks for having me.
We go way, way back.
We do,
even before the shoe saga of 2016.
Well, let me tell Jason Relaxation, we've just our 20th anniversary. 20 years since we met.
Wow.
We met at the FIFA All-Stars game at ANZ Stadium.
Yeah,
1999.
And that's when you had dreadlocks.
Dreadlocks, white in the white van.
Yes,
things have changed a lot.
Yes.
You know how it started? We got I think it would have been shout out to Fantastic Phil. He knows who he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? He says, "Oh, it's all right. We've got a lift to the game or something." I'm like, "Oh, okay, who's picking us up?" He goes, "Oh, this guy." His name's Drunken Monkey. He'll pick us up, and I'm like, okay. Next thing you know, this white van comes around the corner. This guy with dreadlocks sticks his head out, goes, "Get in." Now listen,
with his Cockney accent.
With his Cockney accent.
Yeah, he was just with a Cockney accent.
The Englishman with a Cockney accent. I was actually going to save it for the next podcast. I got another little song up my sleeve.
Oh, jeez.
You'll like it.
All right.
We'll leave it there. But you can confirm and deny you've got a Cockney accent. I don't know if you do or you don't. I don't know. I get very confused because he got the shits with me one night.
Every listener's going, he's not got a Cockney accent.
No, well, you know what? There was one night he got the shit.
And for those who don't know, I actually look like Samuel L. Jackson.
That's right, he does. That's my brother be fine.
Yeah, Coach Carter is my
you need to give him the wallet, man.
Oh yeah, did I show you?
No.
I did show you before. I got my Samuel L. Jackson bad motherfucker.
Oh yes.
Got my bad motherfucker wallet. Now listen, while we're talking about Tarantino, we saw No, well, I tangent. I've got him.
What a segue.
No, well, I've got a segue now. Don't stop me. Don't stop me, you fucking silence.
now.
Silence.
I'm having such a good...
Silence. Remember what? I didn't get your real final thoughts on the new Tarantino movie. We saw that a week ago.
Yes, we did.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
What were your final thoughts on it?
Actually, after we watched it, I went and watched 2 documentaries about it, and it was actually a lot more accurate than I thought. And I actually love the ending. I love the fact. By the time this comes out, I suppose spoilers, most people would have seen it, but I love the fact that he actually gives us an happy ending of sorts.
Is it really accurate? Because I actually thought it wasn't.
Which bit?
Well, no. As in, it was that bit, that George character. He actually existed. He did own that ranch.
Okay,
he was blind.
Okay.
He was with that girl.
Okay,
all of that was true. There was a lot of it that was absolutely spot on until he did that left turn.
Right,
and then of course that left turn was right.
Yeah. So what we're talking about, for those that don't know, we won't spoil it, but we're talking about the Sharon Tate murder, which is
that's
fact.
Correct, yeah.
That's fact. That's part of the Charles Manson thing. And that was that's what this movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, is loosely based on. And I couldn't work out watch it, because I knew about the Sharon Tate murders, but I couldn't work out how close it was to the real life, like the movie and the real life. I couldn't. And that, when I walked out, I went, you know what? I really enjoyed the movie. I thought Leonardo DiCaprio, my God, what a performance.
Yeah,
he's awesome. Actually, at one point, I hated Leonardo DiCaprio. I thought he was like a man-child, you know what I mean? But now he's awesome as an actor. And I really enjoyed Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt. It's just Brad Pitt.
I will say he was annoyed with Leonardo because he never got on the door with Rose. There's room for 2 on that door. And he was shouting at there's room for 2.
Well, that's equality.
Yeah.
There should be enough room for everybody.
I never forgave him for that. It was ridiculous. Come on, you freeze. I love you. You freeze in the water. I mean,
equality.
Yeah,
that's equality. Don't go there. I'm trying to be helpful, but you're baiting me. You're baiting me to rant, aren't you? You're doing it deliberately. You know what you're doing right now? You're making a plate of smashed avocado, and you want me to go off. But I'm trying to help you because we had a debrief. Remember the debrief?
Yes.
We had to talk about it. I'm trying to be good because I will rant and I'll go.
All right.
You won't like me after that.
Okay, so back to the movie. I thought it was really realistic. I thought the acting was superb. I loved the ending. I thought and okay, we can get on to it. That's not a segue for this one yet, because we'll talk about it later. But subverting expectations. Last Jedi, I'm not talking about that. But I thought that was a good way to subvert your expectations, because I actually loved the ending of it. I thought it was superb.
I really enjoyed it. I don't think there's a bad Tarantino movie out there. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
There are weaker ones than others.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the best Tarantino movie that he's done. I think Pulp Fiction's still my favourite. That's just me. I even like the Death Proof and the, what was it, Grindhouse?
Grindhouse, yeah.
Those 2 sort of independent movies that he did, I enjoyed them. I know a lot of people didn't like them. I did. I still dug them. But yeah, I really enjoyed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I recommend it. Not that my opinion means dick these days.
Jason, have you been to the Orpheum?
Sorry?
The Orpheum Theatre in Cremorne. That's the best way to see a movie.
Yeah, we should go one night. It is awesome.
Sometimes they have the organ grinder come up. It's still an old style. And they'll do like $12 movies.
And they got the best choc tops in Sydney.
Absolute ice cream all the way down.
Yeah, that's
to the bottom of the wafer. None of this bloody event cinema rubbish where you bite it and you go, I've only got wafer left.
Now, I'll tell
There's
you.
ice cream all the way down,
now,
mate.
you know, like I know, back in the 80s, the ice cream went all the way down to the bottom. These days, you get fucking one little Mr. Whippy layer.
Yeah.
Now, but they go all the way. It's like a meal having one of those choc tops.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I saw that other with the choc top, and he goes around, our PC. He's got, I don't know your brother was with you.
I didn't say that. He's making me sound bad. He's a bad dude, man. I didn't say that. He's
baiting you big time.
He's baiting me, man. But you know what annoys me? He was the one that says, now listen, you have to be on your best behaviour. I'm trying really hard.
All right. Oh, yes. Okay.
But you can do whatever you want. You're the guest, right? Guests get to do whatever they want. And listen, you'll be part of our Christmas special, won't you?
I most certainly will, and the 100th anniversary as well.
Yeah, we might not make
episodes.
it.
Well, we might not. Yeah,
do you know who won't be a part of the Christmas special?
The suppressive personality, Pedro. Now, you can confirm Pedro's existence, can't you?
Oh yes, I absolutely can. He's been sort of there in the background for many of the things we're going to talk about today.
Well, let's get into it.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk about history of gaming, but more so your history of gaming.
Yeah.
Because you go all the way back to Pong.
Well, I'm 10 years older than you guys, so we started literally at Pong. So we had no internet then, so we used to learn things on the news, and we got this news story about this great thing called a video game, and you could play Pong. It was tennis. Anyway, my dad got a unit, and where I'm from, and you've been to,
I've been,
absolutely. All video game units came off the back of a lorry. It's like some dodgy, all hooky it was, absolutely. Yeah. But we got one. We got one for Christmas, and you had to score. It wasn't on the screen. You had to move this little ball bearing along this plastic thing, and you had this little paddle, and we would play tennis.
So it was actually mechanical.
Well, it was like a little pad. It was like a dial, and you turn it up and down to move the paddle up on the screen.
Oh, it's okay.
Like that. So it was just literally,
okay.
it was literally
Pong.
just tennis. It was Pong. It was black and white, and where we lived, a bit like in the Surrey Hills area, all the windows onto the street. So we'd have all the kids in the neighbourhood looking through the window what we were doing. And eventually, how can we play? So we'd invite them in, because in those days, all the neighbourhood would be around your house, etc. So we'd play Pong. Of course, we'd always used to fight, because we'd all argue about, I'm Bjorn Borg. No, I'm Bjorn Borg. No, you can be McEnroe.
Oh,
no,
so
you're Jimmy Connors.
So you're playing as tennis players.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just a little thing going up and down. Yeah. And then the following year, my dad gave us a colour one, and that had, I think, hockey. It was the same concept.
Dumb question. Were these the Nintendo TV game series? Because
No. Well before that.
Because I've got a TV game.
Yes, console. I know you have. No, these were proper consoles. You plugged into a CRT TV.
Yep.
And they're on the screen.
Not the Magnavox Odyssey?
No, it wasn't Magnavox. No, as I say, these were dodgy from somewhere.
Okay, so these are like rips off.
But there were Pong.
Yeah.
And that's all you could get, because America got most of the stuff. You were lucky to get anything in where I was from. So then we got the colour, and then we got the first branded one. I remember getting that, and that was the Intellivision, which you have.
I've got an Intellivision
with the pads.
Yep.
And that was full colour. Put cartridge in, changed the games, and we thought it was.
Well, that's actually more capable than an Atari 2600.
Yeah.
They've actually it's got more grunt.
Yeah, that's right.
Under the hood than an Atari. Well, back in those days, it would have been an Atari VCS.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you had an Intellivision, and then I kind of left home, and so for a little while actually I didn't game a lot, because I bought my first house when I was 18, so I really was. It was all about paying off my bills. I've been there, man.
But then I got back into it when I saw this. And I know you spoke about it before. Shareware. Doom 386.
Oh, man.
And that changed it. Then that was it. That was it.
Look, I know PC gaming is very popular now. I know it is. But I loved PC gaming back in the 80s and the 90s. Yeah. And when the Shareware discs were there, you'd buy a computer magazine and there'd be games on the disc to play.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of malware that would fuck
you. Absolutely.
But think about this now. A game like Doom back in 1993 was Shareware. The first episode was Shareware.
Yeah.
You could, for free.
Literally came on on Hyper Magazine or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So modern day speak, that's a demo.
Yep.
But not just a demo for 30 minutes, like the full
level one.
The full level one.
I think it was.
That's insane. Yeah. That wouldn't happen today, man.
Actually, what I missed before that, because it was very a big part of my life. My 21st birthday, my dad said to me, "Do you want a party or a gift?" And I said, I don't want a party. It was his mates down the pub. So can I have a Commodore 64? Oh. And he bought me a brand new Commodore 64 with the cassette deck. You used to put cassettes in.
Yeah.
Summer Sports, Impossible Mission.
You'd wait like a half an hour for it to load.
Rock joystick. Half an hour for it to load. And then sometimes it wouldn't. But we used to buy magazines. And in the magazines, you'd have all this code. And you spend all night putting in code so a ball would go across the screen. And you'd go, I'm a hacker.
Oh, you're programmed.
Yeah, you're programmed.
You're programming.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you used to think you could take on NASA because it was that movie War Games. You used to think that you could take over.
Yeah.
And there used to be a game called Hacker by Activision, one of their early games. And in the game, you pretended you was a hacker, taking on everyone. We used to think we were the best.
So when's this, late 70s?
So that would have been 84.
Okay, so we're...
84,
okay. So your Pong machine...
85 was Commodore 64.
And your Pong machine was what?
Pong machine was about 78, 79.
Okay, so it was late 70s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm trying to think, mainly in the late 70s, because I've got a Magnavox Odyssey, the first one.
Yeah.
That was from 1972, and it's got like color inserts that you put on the computer, like a TV screen. So you got, say, fake graphics, and that was early 70s. Yeah.
Can you just imagine Dad's when you're sticking shit on his TV?
Oh, yeah, Dad'd go off, mate.
Yeah.
He'd go, well, don't touch my fucking TV. Well, he goes off at Mum. Because Mum will put a vase in front of the TV because she wants to decorate the house.
Can't see the TV through the fucking flowers.
Yeah, Dad literally moves like vases, coffee things, mugs,
pillows.
He goes, fuck him, your mother, right? He goes, I can't see the fucking TV, and he'll move shit left and right, and finally, and then Mum will come in and have a go at him.
Yeah.
Why'd you move all my shit?
and then on top of that, when Mum goes to sit down and watch TV, I can't work it. There's like 5 different remote controls.
Oh yeah, ask Mum, can you put the TV on for me? I don't know how. And then when you tell Dad, Mum doesn't know how to put the TV on. Oh Jesus Christ! I've showed her 100 times.
I tried to show my missus how to Chromecast this weekend.
Yeah.
Now she loves it.
Oh yeah.
And my daughter's in London, so I actually sent a message. Mum can now Chromecast.
That's a big deal, man. That's a big deal.
That's a massive deal.
That's a big deal.
And I can watch all of this. But going back to games. It's Commodore 64. Some great games. I remember summer games. I remember my first F1 game. I think it was called Pitstop.
Oh, I remember hearing about
and you could actually did go into the pits and your tyres would run down. Oh man, that was awesome.
C64?
C64,
yeah,
absolutely.
I think I might have played that on a neighbour's C64 pit stop. And we used to have a neighbour that was across the street. He was a programmer, and he actually was the only guy I'd ever met that programmed games. He worked for a game company.
Well, I've just pre-ordered it. I think it's out now. The C64 Mini.
Yeah.
I want to get one. Because that was my at height of gaming. I love that C64. I really did.
I never got one.
Yeah.
I went straight to the PC, and it's a bit like the Amiga story.
So was that the Amiga ST war? There was the ST. Yeah,
that came
Commodore
later.
ST and the Amiga, which was the next step after that, because Commodore then started to get in this war with Atari.
Well, they went... Okay, so Commodore's complicated. They went down the computer route, and they were doing... Because they always promoted... I don't care what anyone says, it's fact. Commodore always promoted the Amiga and the C64 as computers.
Yes.
And they happen to have great graphical capabilities for the day. But the Amiga especially, they actually promoted that more as a graphical desktop publishing type of thing. But they played awesome games because the graphics card in that thing was amazing. The PC was shit back then compared to an Amiga.
Yeah.
But I never got an Amiga 500 or 1000 or 2000, whatever the models were, because I went straight to the PC because the old man was all about, no, you need to learn Lotus 1, 2, 3.
Because you'll be using it for the next 25 years.
Yeah. Mate, he came home with a book.
Mind you, was right about using it for the next 25 years.
He was right. He was a pioneer, Dad. He was a smart guy.
Yeah.
But he came home with a manual. Imagine giving a guy that's 15 a manual for Word Perfect and Lotus 1, 2, 3.
I remember that too.
Wow. Which, by the way, he photocopied at work.
He did. Yeah. Right? I think the discs came from work too.
Right, everything was pirated. Right, like your dad, it fell off the back of the truck. Right, and he'd sit there. He'd tell a 15-year-old kid, all I wanted to do was play games. You need to learn Lotus 1, 2, 3. My heart sank. Right, because I really wanted the Amiga. Because I've told
maybe that's why you're so good at pivot tables.
I used to be. I've forgotten all of it. I've forgotten all of it, man. I used to be quite good at pivot tables back in the old days, but no, Commodore was like, these are computers, these are business, great graphical desktop computers, and then they actually went into consoles because they released very late in their life the Amiga CD32.
Yes,
I've actually got one.
Yes,
they're quite hard to find. I've got one, and that was an Amiga 1200 bolted with a CD-ROM. They were kind of like dipping their toe into the water of the mid-90s where the PlayStation was out, the 3DO was out. Yeah. You know, when everything went CD-ROM and DVDs... Oh, not DVDs, sorry. what do you call it, full motion videos and those interactive type cheesy games. Well, Commodore kind of wanted to go into that like business as well, and that's why they released this console, the CD32. But they kind of got into trouble because they proclaimed it as being the world's first 32-bit console. Now here's some nerd shit for you. The actual first 32-bit console was the Fujitsu FM Towns Marty, only released in Japan. That's no bullshit. I don't have.
Do you
one.
have it?
No, I don't, because they're really, really, really expensive. And I probably should have got on board with that because they're getting really hard to find now.
They were big on fighting games, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading about them. Yeah.
They had some, they were very short-lived, really hard to find now, and really expensive, really difficult to get. But, and again, only available in Japan. So I wished I had got one when I had the chance, but I might get one for fun.
Yeah.
Because that's really all I'm missing is the FM Towns Marty. Bizarre console, weird console. Looks weird. Doesn't look cool at all. So you when did you hit Sega? When did you get into the Mega Drive?
So then I went through my backpacking stage and not really gaming for a while.
So you're actually living life.
Well, actually, yeah, I was living life, and the only thing I had to keep me going was a Lynx, a handheld Lynx.
Oh, an Atari Lynx.
Yeah.
I've got one of them.
It used to drain. I mean, literally needed a nuclear power station just to keep it going for for the day.
A Model 1 or a Model 2?
Model 1.
Yeah, because they were like a big dog bone.
Yeah,
they were really big.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the batteries never lasted. But they had a colour screen.
They had a colour screen.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So then I went through. Well, before that, then I say Doom came along. And then I got into Lynx Golf. Saved a very important relationship for me because I had a really good friend who is now my brother-in-law.
Shout out to the brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law.
You know what, brother-in-law? Listen to this. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and share it out. You know, because we could use a little bit more love in the UK.
But I started dating his sister. My friend started dating the sister, and it was awkward for a while.
It would be.
It would be.
Oh yeah.
So one night we went around, and he showed me his computer. He had X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, but he also had Lynx Golf, and we both liked golf.
Oh, yeah.
So we started playing, and this was about 8 o'clock. We didn't finish till 6 in the morning.
Were you here in Australia?
No, I was in London.
Oh, so you're over there?
I was in London then, and we were playing this Lynx Golf, and then it got so. I mean, literally, we had a folder of all our scores because you could print the scores.
Sorry, was this Lynx the first Lynx, or did you go on the Lynx 386?
On the Palmer, wasn't it?
Well, because what happened was with Lynx,
there was one before the Microsoft one.
Yeah,
Shout
and then
out
they
to
also
Microsoft.
Then they broke my heart.
Yeah,
they broke my heart because this is when my devastation of PC gaming started. You had Lynx, the very first Lynx, I think it was. Then they started bringing out Lynx 386.
Yes.
And you had to have a 386 to play
you did.
it. And I didn't have a 386. I had a 286. And I'll never forget, I went to the Games Wizard store here, not near my neighborhood.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right, you remember that
Palmer
shop?
Road?
No, the one near me.
Oh, the one near you.
Okay, right. Yeah. So I went in there. That's where I saw Doom as well. And I saw Lynx 386 being run on a PC. And I went, holy shit. Because I had two at the very first one and I loved it. And I went, because I'm like you, I love golf games. And I'm like, I need this. And the guy said, well, you need a 386. And and then they brought out Lynx 486.
Yep.
And then they got progressively more impressive as time went on.
But those earlier ones all came on. You had to literally, you buy a box with the course on a floppy disk.
Yes, you did. Yes.
And you have to put it in the machine.
You know what? Do you reckon that was the first DLC?
Yeah, I do.
I reckon it is too.
Yeah.
When I think about it now, you didn't know what it was back then.
It wasn't exactly deal.
Well, they called it expansion.
But you didn't download it. Yeah, but expansion.
No, but it was an expansion. But it was like a really
each course. Yeah,
absolutely. But it wasn't common back in those days to have expansions or anything like this,
Not
was
at
it?
all.
No,
not at all. And there was always the same one. Sawgrass. There was always Sawgrass. Pebble Beach.
That was the popular one.
St Andrews.
Yep.
And they're still now. Even now, those golf games were there. So we'd be up till all hours playing these games. And I remember the first time I think it was me. I got an hole-in-one, and then I got another hole. A bit like me and you, Tiger Woods. I get another hole-in-one, and eventually my brother-in-law got one. And I remember it was about 4 in the morning. We're hugging each other. That's gaming at its finest,
We've done that as well.
Yeah, got a hole-in-one.
Couldn't have done it without you, man.
Absolutely.
It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Couldn't have done it without you, brother. No, man, you were awesome tonight. Mate, going back to Lynx, just pause for a sec. Golf games in general, you and I have had so many awesome experiences playing golf games to the wee hours.
Yep. Fuzzy Zola's where it started.
Well, for us back as kids on the PC, yes, it was Fuzzy Zola.
Yeah.
And then they had Fantasy Golf, which was some weird, wacky bullshit. And this was all EGA graphics. It's like 4 colours or 16 colours on the screen. It was shit. But Lynx was like the holy shit moment of golf. It was like, this is amazing,
Absolutely.
right? It took like 2 minutes to load up each. Like after you shot the ball, take another 20 seconds to load up the screen, right? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
First it'd do the grid, then it'd fill the colours,
and it would all come down
then the trees
screen.
would pop up, right? The sky would suddenly turn blue, and then you could play your shot again. It was a pain in the ass, right? But the golf games, like Tiger Woods golf, was like to me the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Probably back in 2012, I reckon that was the best year.
Even 2008 and 9, we met this guy in England, Growy. Remember Growy?
Shout out to Growy.
Shout out to Growy.
Yeah, he was all.
Yeah.
He was so funny. We'd play these Tiger Woods games back in the Xbox 360. We'll get to that at some point. And we'll be playing like golf for hours and hours, and all you'd hear for the whole time is this fucking game. Because he'd hit. He'd make a miss shot or he wouldn't sink a putt, right? And he goes, "This fucking game," because he's from Manchester, isn't he?
Manchester, yeah.
So he's got that thick accent, and he's like, "Oh, this fucking game," and he go, "Are you right, Dan? This fucking game," because he just miss a hit. Like, remember we told Nervous Nathan about him, and he goes, "No, this guy's made up." And then one time this was back on the 360 towards the end. And we got him to play one night with us. I think it was one of the late Tiger Woods games that came out.
I think the very last one.
One of the very last ones, yeah. Certainly the very last one we played on a 360.
Well, the last one before he got up to all sorts of shenanigans.
And then I said, mate, we're going to play with this guy, Growy. And we told him all about it. And he goes, "Nah, you're making it up." Anyway, as soon as Growy's missed a shot, this fucking game. And Nervous Nathan shout out to him. He's giggling the whole time he lost it. He goes, "You weren't making it up." I go, "No, I wasn't making it up." He goes, the whole time he's like, "Oh, fuck this fucking game."
And there'd be times we'd be playing a game and we'd be dressed normally, and then suddenly you go to the next screen and someone would have a bunny costume on, or someone would have a top hat, and we'd just lose it. We'd be laughing for half an hour because of a top hat. It was ridiculous. Yeah.
Do you remember the night when Growy remember the old video cameras they used to have on the 360? Remember one night he was doing a party chat with us eating a bowl of cereal? He's in his fucking long johns or something, and he's eating a bowl of cereal. Goes, "It ain't there, Dan. It ain't there." Right? And he's eating a bowl of cereal, like, "Oh, who is this guy?" And then we go, "You ready to play some golf, Growy?" "Hey, right there." And he'd be like, "Give me a fucking minute." Like, then he'd load up Tiger Woods. We get on a party chat, and you hear this within 2 seconds. The first shot off the tee, the first hole. "This fucking game."
And he still keeps playing.
He kept playing, mate. He got very competitive,
Well, also, we used to just play sometimes just to laugh our heads off. I mean, you'd get through 2 courses, but you'd be just constantly changing your costumes so you could look sillier.
When was that? Probably, 2011, 12? Or was that the last year?
It was 8 and 9, because we've often said 8 and 9 were the best Tiger games, and then it started to get serious because they got the Masters, and once they got the Masters, that killed the game. Because you weren't allowed bunny suits on that course.
That's right.
And they started to take away Bingo, Bango, Bongo.
That's right. We used to play Bingo, Bango, Bongo with Growy.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. And we wear bunny suits, and he wore like a purple bunny suit, remember?
Yes.
And I said to him, because I couldn't work it out, I go, "Growy, how'd you get the bunny suit?" He goes, you got to unlock the fucking bunny suit, Dan. You got to play a bit more." And he'd be in a bunker, right? And it looked ridiculous. There's a purple bunny in a bunker, and he hit a shot, and you go, "Oh, this fucking game." Every shot, every single shot, even if it was a good one, fuck me. That's what you never hear. Even if it was a good shot, fuck me. And then he'd go, "I don't know, I'm fucking playing this fucking game." I miss it, man.
God bless him, though, because we'd be playing at night. It'd be daytime there.
Yeah,
you'd have
that's
things
right.
to do.
Because I could never work out the time difference, but you could you knew it off the
Even
top of your
9
head.
or 11 hours.
Yeah, and
so
we
it'd often be Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, so what we used to get online at what 9?
Yeah,
something like that at night.
yeah. So it'd be midday over there.
Yeah, and you're like, well, it's about 11 or 12 o'clock in the afternoon or 11 in the morning for him. And I'm like, really? But the best bit was, I'm going to go back to it. My favourite bit was, we're ready to play a game. We're doing the party chat thing. Remember party chat with the Xbox 360? You're getting all hooked up, getting ready, organising people. People are getting their controllers organised. And he's on the video bit. And no bullshit, he's eating a bowl of cereal. That fucking made my day. And he looked like he was wearing long johns.
He's probably just woken up.
And then he says to me, the best bit was, he goes, what's the weather like there? And I said, oh, it's pretty hot. He goes, it's fucking miserable here. I remember that. He used to say, fuck, I hate this place. It goes, the weather's fucking terrible. It's fucking awful. Like, I can't do the accent. He was so funny, man.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
And then he have another couple of choice things to say that I won't say on there, but he was a very...
Well, he'll come back into the history of this later.
Yes, we will, yeah. So when did you get into the Sega? Have I jumped the gun?
Not really, because then, as I say... Then
you won a competition.
No, the Lynx is there, so I'm travelling. I go back to England because I was waiting then for my PR to come out to Australia, and I get a job at an Earl's Court. And literally, I mean, you could see it from the window. The Sega headquarters for London were there.
Cool.
And then one day, out the back of the garden where I was working, a balloon fell in the garden. And it said, either be the first person to send this back or the furthest distance. So, of course...
It sounds like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
It was.
Shit.
So... I put a stamp on it, but of course I went and made sure I got all the way back from the train line and went about 20 kilometres and then posted it from that address. So obviously I was the furthest person. And the first one of the prizes, I think there was 5 prizes, was a Sega Mega CD, which was the CD and the CD-ROM drive. It was huge. It was fantastic.
That was $700 here?
Absolutely.
They were $700 because I've got one now.
Yeah.
But back in those days, I remember going to the Games Wizard shop I was telling you about. No bullshit, I saw the price tag on this is the Model 2 though.
Yeah.
So that's the combined CD with the base Megadrive. $700 back then.
And it had some great games. So I was playing, obviously Sonic, but also I got one with a light gun. There was these two plastic light guns and you could shoot. I thought that was awesome. They had Rebel Assault.
Oh.
Which was a CD.
It
wasn't a great game, but it was.
But it looked unreal.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And I actually brought that over with me to Australia.
That's right.
So I brought that over to Australia, and then I'd been there a couple of years, and I remember selling it to some guy up in Penrith actually.
Yeah.
And then he put it back online. I remember he put it back online literally the next day for like 200 more. I couldn't sell it because I knew the PS1 was coming, and I thought I'll sell it now. Someone bought it, and I put all that money towards my PS1. And I bought it from a guy up in Liverpool, and I remember seeing Destruction Derby, which yesterday they announced a game very similar to that, which looks fantastic.
What's the game called?
Oh, I can't remember the name, but literally it's about destruction, and you drive little carts. We need to look into that.
Jonathan.
Because Destruction Derby for me was like, wow, this is amazing. Like the PS1 it looks terrible now.
PS1 was one of my favourite consoles of all time.
Blew away.
What a console.
Tomb Raider, when
Metal Gear, man. FIFA, yeah.
FIFA was good, a full motion video. But, there was some... See, the Alzheimer's is kicking in. What was the game? The scary one, where the dogs come through the window.
Oh, that's Resident Evil.
The original. When those dogs came through that window.
They shit yourself.
Well, shout out to Fantastic Phil again. I remember at the time we were both at uni, and one night we were going out. I think it might have been a catch up with you. Something. Anyway, he's playing for Resident Evil in his mum and dad's house, and the dog. It got to the bit where I walked into his bedroom where the dogs are jumping up at the windows. You know when that scene where you walk through and the dogs jump up at the window? Resident Evil was huge on the PlayStation.
And Phil is into Metal Gear Solid. He was the one who got me into that.
That's me.
Yeah, massive fan of Metal Gear Solid.
He loves Siphon Filter.
Yes.
He was a massive
Great game.
Siphon Filter fan.
Great game.
So, and for me, like going back to what I was saying upstairs, I don't know. I'm waiting for another game to give me that same level of impact as what the original Siphon Filter or what Metal Gear Solid gave back in the day. And I just don't. Those people don't understand how massive something like Metal Gear Solid was. It changed everything.
Absolutely.
Right?
I was telling you,
Well,
I was telling you upstairs. I'm calling it now. When they showed the Death Stranding gameplay at Gamescom, it did nothing for me.
Yes.
It fell flat. I think. I think everyone looked at that and went,
I think
"What?"
it's visuals with lack of instant
Mate, I think Kojima's lost his damn mind. To be honest, I think
He never had.
I think
He's always been fucking
I
out
think
there.
Sony's just let him do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, of
but I
course
think
they
it's at the expense of a game. I don't think there's a game there.
Let's wait and see. But
I could be wrong.
I know what you mean.
I could be really wrong.
Yeah, the demos
Right?
don't look exciting.
No,
do they? Yeah.
I'm not going to get it day one. I'm telling you now because I looked at that and went, "What is the game? There is no game." And what was I doing? You know what one of the gaming elements is that Norman Reedus is peeing everywhere and creating magic mushrooms. Did you see that? He's making magic mushrooms by pissing everywhere. Are you fucking serious, Kojima? He's lost his goddamn mind. I'm telling you
I
now.
reckon he's taken the mick. I
No.
reckon he's gone, you know what, I'm going to see how far I can push my
Now, I'll
luck.
tell you something else. I think Sony are watching that game very closely, and if it doesn't do well, I don't think
pull it. Yeah.
Well, I think Sony are in a bit of a buying spree at the moment. They just bought Insomniac.
Yeah.
I think they'd look at that game, and if it's successful, they might purchase Kojima Productions
Tell him what to do.
and tell him what to do. But at the moment, they're not doing shit with that game because I don't think they know what the hell that game is either. I think they've let Kojima go completely unsupervised, and he's just gone nuts.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Maybe it's going to be awesome, and I could be very wrong, but I looked at that and went, nah, I don't know what this is. I still don't know. I should by now know what that game is.
Yeah.
We've seen it for 2 years now, and here we are on the eve of it being released in November, I think it is, and it's still further away from what it for telling me what the hell it is. Why would I pay
Yeah, November's not far.
$80 to
Weeks
play?
of those games with all the hype, everyone gets the pre-orders,
Yep.
and then they all want to send them back.
Yep.
And they go, "What is this?" And
Yep.
we've been there many.
Yeah, the
many-
getaway.
Yeah, the getaway.
Let's talk about it.
No, we'll get into that later. Back to PS1.
Back to PS1.
Well, actually, and back to Doom, because Doom was on the PS1 and it was split screen.
Yeah.
And I remember Phil, I don't know, maybe even possibly you, we had cardboard down the side of a
Oh,
CRT.
I remember that.
You
Yeah,
had to
yeah,
sit either left or
Yep.
right of the TV. So that was my first split screen. And you couldn't see it. I put cardboard down the middle of the television and I stuck it on with a bit of tape.
Yeah.
And there was split screen. You had the adapter so you could fit 4 controllers in. You used to come with a boomerang adapter.
That's right.
An 8 megabyte memory card.
Yeah.
Yep.
You had to put that in. So there's all peripherals for the PS1.
Yeah, that's how they made a lot of money.
Absolutely. No, great machine.
You know, Drunken Monkey, speaking of cardboard, today's sponsor is not, and I repeat, is not Vizzy. Will the monkeys roll the bullshit?
Yeah, why not? They're already doing it.
So, if you ever have something that you need to, I don't know, place into a box,
Yes.
our friends at Vizzy would be more than happy to make a box for any of your requirements. And you know what? Kojima used many boxes in Metal Gear Solid.
He did.
Solid Snake was hiding in boxes all the time. He couldn't get his head out of a box. If there was a box, he'd shove his head into it. And there was always an exclamation mark above it. He loved being in a box, didn't he? Solid Snake. And I think Kojima doesn't mind having a bit of a box.
He was probably responsible for all those cardboard boxes that ended up in every
Yes.
other game after.
That's right.
I think there was a little bit of a nod.
That's
to,
right. So if you need a cardboard box, Vizzy is the company for you, but we're not sponsored by Vizzy because they don't like us. And as a matter of fact, maybe I don't like them. Actually, that's not true. I love Vizzy. Shout out to the beautiful people at Vizzy. That's a kiss for you for not sponsoring us today. Back to
PlayStation.
Back to
This is the
PlayStation.
time I met you. Now, as you know, I had the Star Wars
Well,
room. Actually, the funny story
yes.
about PS1 was this. Now, you know a young man called Sean, the soccer player.
yes,
Now-
shout out to him.
Yeah. Now, he was 4 years old when I moved into the neighbourhood.
This is what really hurts me now.
got chatting. I know he's a grown man.
How
now,
old
married.
is he now?
I think he's just turned 30.
Oh fuck!
We're getting
He was a
old.
little kid.
No, he can't. No, he can't actually be that age. He can't be 30. He must be in his 20s.
He'd have to be late 20s though, wouldn't he?
Yeah, late 20s.
And he's married, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He was a kid literally running around your street I mean, a little kid, like a kid, and he was running around being
silly between me and Phil, and he came on and he said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm new to the neighbourhood," and I was taking all the stuff out of the car into the house, new house. He goes, "What's that?" I go, "It's called a PlayStation." And he goes, "Oh, what does it do?" I said, "Well, I'll show you later if you want." And I said, "I'll come and ask your dad." And I said, "Can you come and look at the PlayStation?" Fine. He has to go on FIFA. Next day, he's banging on the door. "Unky, can I play with your Playboy?" I'm thinking I'm going to get lynched in this neighbourhood. I said, "It's called a PlayStation. Don't ever say that again, because I'm looking totally wrong here."
I'll be totally honest with you, and I did say this on a really early podcast. I think you have listened to it. So, thank you for doing it. When Sony said they were entering in the fray and releasing a thing called PlayStation, but back then it was PSX.
That was the code name. Yep.
I thought they've got no idea what they're doing. They've lost their goddamn mind. You make television, Sony. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're doing, right? And then I saw the controller, and I saw those the sacred symbols, the triangle, the square, the circle, the X, and I went, "You lost your damn mind, Sony. You don't know what you're doing." And I saw the controller. You don't know what you're doing, right? And I was all about, Sega have got it in, man. It's all about the Saturn, right? Yes. It's all about the Saturn. Didn't I bet on the wrong horse, right? Because honestly, you know, there were all these companies coming out, like Atari was back with a Jaguar. Yeah. I thought they had a better chance.
As you mentioned, your previous 3DO, which
3DO as well. Yeah. Look, I'll be honest. I saw the 3DO running at a shop, not the Games Wizard shop. I think it was just called Game. Do you ever remember Game?
Yeah, I do remember Game. Yeah,
they had a Panasonic 3DO running with I can't remember what the game was, and it was $1,100. But I loved everything about it. It looked the shit. Like it looked.
Well, was it Road Rash or Maverick? Those were the two they tended to have.
It was Road Rash.
Road Rash.
Yeah, it was Road Rash. Yeah. And what blew my mind was it had Rusty Cage by Soundgarden as an opening track.
Yes.
That blew my mind, man. And it was all full motion video, and then it went cut back into the game of Road Rash itself, but it looked way better than a Mega Drive game. And I'm like, this is insane. But you know what? When you look at the console, it looked like a DVD player, right? But now most consoles actually do look like DVD players, so I reckon 3DO was a bit ahead of its time, to be honest. But $1,100 is what they wanted for the thing. But when Sony said, we're bringing out a console, I went, "You've lost your damn mind. Get out of it. You don't know what you're doing. It's going to be Nintendo and it's going to be Sega all the way." And you know they crushed everybody, really. Shout out to Super Simon. I know he's banging his head, going, "No, you're wrong, Retro Dan. The Nintendo is awesome." Super Simon, come back on the show and defend yourself. You're starting to become like
mate. He fucking wouldn't have hard.
He's a bit like Pedro. He's disappeared. Yeah, the PS1 was, what was it, about $700?
Yeah, actually, I think I paid $649. So
you know what? I'm predicting the PS5 is going to be about $700.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Did you see the SketchUps of it?
No, well that's
that mock-up.
That's
a dev kit.
That's a dev kit. It won't look like that, but I think it will have something like similar, like a V on it. That's what the rumor is, but it won't look anything like that.
It'll look like your home. It's got to fit into the home. Let's be honest.
No. Actually, I think they've done that deliberately to put people on the wrong path.
I think they'll be conservative.
Yeah, they will be very conservative. That thing is not going to be
Japanese company.
No. Anything where your missus is going to say, "What the hell is that?"
It won't.
You ain't getting
That's
in.
Right. You need to sneak it into your hi-fi system.
I think they've done it deliberately. They've done it deliberately to.
What does that do? It monitors your dinner to make sure it doesn't burn.
Tell us what your wife just said about the PS5 when you went home and said, next year I'm saving my money now. And a PS5's coming out. She goes, "What does that do?"
Well, can I just say I love you, sweetheart? But she says,
shout out to her.
She says, "But what are you doing with that one?" She points to the PS4 and goes, "What are you doing with that one?" I said, "She knows you did with those blokes. Who cares? I might sell it. Who cares?"
Imagine if she saw how much shit is in this house.
Oh yeah. They don't get it, man.
No.
They don't get it. They don't understand.
Most blokes fight with getting the latest TV into their house.
Yeah.
You know, oh, this one's 4K, but what's wrong with that one?
Yeah.
But this is 4K.
Yeah.
This one's 8K. What's wrong with that one?
Yeah. Why do you want a TV so big? That's silly. I'm like, you don't get it, man. I want to be blasted with like radiation. It's fucking sick.
You want it to be Chernobyl levels.
Yeah. No, I think that's, I don't know. You know, shout out to the Cookie Queen. The Cookie Queen's got a suggestion for me. She said, "Why don't you write a book that helps people that aren't nerds
Be a nerd.
be a nerd so they can love nerds. I thought that's an awesome idea. She goes, you could write a book telling non-nerds what nerd things are so they can relate to you and so you can be loved.
You know what? No. And the way that you
Shout
sell
out
that
to
is...
the Cookie Queen. Huh?
You know, well, the way that you sell that is it's for non-nerds to actually get a job in the future.
Oh, yes, that's another thing.
Because nerds are going to rule the world, man.
Yeah, well, pretty much.
They pretty much do.
Yeah, they pretty much do now.
I've said that to my kids from day one, mate. Respect nerds because they will be your boss.
That's right. You all laughed at me, you fucks, but who's right
That's
now?
it,
Who's got a podcast? Who's got a podcast t-shirt?
That's right. Who's got dolls?
You should get the Drunken Monkey a podcast t-shirt.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need to reorder them. They fucking cancelled my order.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, all those losers, mate, they're all out in the park with their kids and their families having ice cream. They're not sitting down in the basement like we are having
Our
a
mum's
good time.
basement.
Absolutely, yeah.
Surrounded by
Losers.
Lego dolls and fucking Mr. Men books.
Who's about to go? Who's about to go up and have some fairy bread?
It's us.
It's us. Look at our Mr. Men books. Nervous Nathan brought these. Look at this.
Awesome.
We got so much random shit.
So we
in
got
this room.
Mr. Tickle, Mr. Grumble, Mr. Happy, Mr. Nosy, Mr. Sneeze, Mr. Bump, Mr. Snow. Look at them.
Mr. Snow. He's got a bit of a cocaine problem.
I think my daughter K-Dog has those.
Really?
Yeah, she does. She has the exact same set.
Oh,
I'm sure
shout
she
out
does.
to her. They're
Yeah.
collectible.
Yeah.
These are still sealed and covered in dust.
So my kids would love to read those books, but
a certain somebody wouldn't let
Retro
them.
Dan won't let them open the plastic.
Because they'll fuck them up. They can't help themselves. They get their little sticky fingers on it.
So literacy's not as important
Yes,
as
21st century.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Go digital, you fucks. That's not my problem. So going back to so we're up to the PS1.
Yeah.
50 minutes in and we're up to
Well, don't listen, man. Silence.
No need to ask.
I love
He's
it
a
that-
smooth
Operator.
I know we've gone back. We've moved on from that.
Don't you reckon that was a pretty good opening?
That's an awesome
I've got
song.
another
Awesome,
fucking cool
awesome
one for you.
one.
I've got another great one for you. You're going to be shocked, man. Remember when you told me one time? You told me. You said for a white boy, you know soul music pretty well.
absolutely, yeah.
He did. He fucking told me this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I like old school like,
Hip-hop.
rap, hip hop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know stuff, and I'm thinking, how come he knows this?
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, he's into
Yeah.
all that. It's not just Vanilla Ice with you, mate.
No, it's not, man. I'm not the Ice Ice baby.
ice, baby.
I'm not. I'm not
funny thing about vanilla-
I'm not just rolling in my 5.0. Yeah, respect.
That's a fist bump there.
That's
for
a
my
fist
brother.
bump. That's right, man. Isn't that cool? You're fucking impressed that I know that shit.
There's hardly anyone who knows that
broke my
song
mind.
outside of the
Me.
No Ice Ice Baby, but yeah, rolling in my 5.0.
Yeah, rolling in my 5.0.
Oh,
Yeah, that's it, man.
Oh,
I
God.
just fucked my mic because I laughed so hard.
But you can't. Like,
we just blew up
these-
the...
these days-
that
see,
whole
this is-
section
this
has
is
to be
where-
cut out. Probably we cracked it.
This is where the world is shit now, right? Because now they all want electric cars. You can't be Vanilla Ice and go riding in my electric car.
With zero sound.
Toyota Prius.
My Toyota Prius. Imagine a Toyota Prius like Boys in the Hood, where it bounces up. You know, when Boys in the Hood, where what was his name? Ice Cube, and he had like
Ice
the
Cube's still
Even
around.
Boys in the Hood, now it's Boys in a Singles Complex, which is dog friendly. It doesn't quite go.
No,
it doesn't flow, does it?
No.
No.
Fuck
Oh,
this.
my goodness.
This time shit. So back to the PS1.
Actually, I'm just about moving on from that because I think never get to PS2. Now, PS2 was a difficult one. That was the Cell. That's the first Cell. Although, to be fair to I love you, sweetheart. She didn't mind the PS2 because I'd already planned it. We just moved house, had our first child. So
And it's a DVD player, don't forget
that's
that.
it. So I
Yep.
said, we need to get DVD. What's that? What's DVD? I said,
It's the future.
It's going to entertain the child.
It's the
Well, Christmas Eve, actually. No, New Year's Eve. She sent me out for a loaf of bread. She goes, get some bread and milk before the shops close tomorrow. And I came back with I came back with a loaf of bread, milk, and a DVD player. She goes, what's that? I didn't even have a DVD. I had to wait for JB to open up. Shout out to JB Hi-Fi.
That's it. Who do not sponsor
yeah.
this show?
well, if they did, they might sponsor the next
If they
one.
did, they'd turn on the fucking air conditioning at the next midnight launch.
Yeah, what about that bullshit? The midnight launch of Red Dead Redemption. Fuck me dead. I almost died.
We're the first ones there, and they're about 40th in the queue by the time we get our copy.
But I was wilting in the line, ready
yeah.
to pass out, and you guys were like, it's fanning yourselves with that big giant fan. Do you remember that?
I fancy buying one of these. Could you show me how it works? Switches it on for me.
Them all
They switched them on, and they're fanning themselves. And I'm lining up going, what the fuck? Of all the people. That was such a dick
Pickle
move,
Bear
man.
was just standing there.
Pickle Bear was the best one. Pickle Bear was doing these ones. He was like standing up, fanning himself, getting rid of the sweat under his armpits. It's like this. And Pedro was doing that little Pedro nod that he does. He's like, you know.
I can't believe he even came to the midnight launch.
Well, that was I tell you what, he might go to the next midnight launch. He might go to is Cyberpunk 2077. Pedro's very excited about that.
I am looking
and I am
forward to that.
too. And I think that could be the next midnight launch because I like the midnight launches.
No,
Even though Red Dead was
no,
shit.
Red Dead, yeah, but I do. Yeah, they're an event and they're really good. I went to the midnight launch. I didn't do midnight launch PS1. There wasn't a midnight launch because it kind of was a bit of a soft launch because they weren't sure. PS2 was a midnight launch.
I don't remember.
I used to have a mate, Scotty J, and he used to work at EB. So he put,
Shout out to Scotty J.
Scotty J. I don't know if he's still there. So I picked up my. I'd already got a PSP.
That's right.
I'd already got my PSP and I got a PS2 blue DVD player.
Yeah, that's what the sell was.
Fantastic,
Yeah, but
absolutely.
that's where Sony, I think, really sold more than they probably should have because I think a lot of people bought it for.
A lot of blokes managed to get that into the house.
That's
as a
right. Because
DVD
DVDs
player.
were huge back then.
Yeah.
So in 2000, when it was released,
That's how we got one.
DVDs were literally like becoming mainstream, and the PS2 was a great sell because it was a very affordable PS.
It was a fucking good one too.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad DVD.
$7.50
player.
cost me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was. It wasn't fucking shut up. Jesus fucking Christ! It's so popular these days.
It's all about the book.
I'll tell you who it is when we get off air.
I know who it is already.
No, that's not.
Oh, really?
It's not who you think of. No. I'll tell you about that story out when we get off. It's bullshit. Now I'm complete. See, this fuck, I've lost my track of thought now.
Pete, something about the PS2 because that's where we're up to.
Okay, my
PS2.
problem with the PS2 was, is the fact that I held a grudge against it because I blamed it stupidly for the demise of the Dreamcast. Remember when I backed the wrong horse and I got a
For a
Dreamcast?
change, yeah.
Yeah. And I got the Dreamcast,
Yeah.
right? And you kept saying, I'll never forget, you had a barbecue or something at your place. This is your old house.
Yeah.
And you've come down the stairs at the front, they're going, I think a Dreamcast is turning the corner, Dan.
The accent's perfect.
Right? The accent's perfect. Right? And I'm like, yeah, it's got a couple of games because like the whole time, everybody around me was not getting a Dreamcast. Everyone was getting a PS2.
Yeah.
And
They missed out on Soul Calibur though.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
I still think the
Crazy Taxi.
I think the
great
Dreamcast
game.
is awesome, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Some great games.
But it was awesome to many people after the event.
Yeah.
After the party was over, basically. And the PS2 came in, and I don't care what anyone says, and I've said this before, people bought it because 100% it was a DVD player.
Yep, that's why we bought
And it was definitely in the eyes of the beholder, but not really, more powerful than the Dreamcast, right?
The emotion engine, wasn't
That
it?
was all bullshit,
Yeah.
man. That was all
Beautiful
bullshit.
bit of marketing right
Yeah.
there.
Remember when they showed the picture of the face that was changing on the screen going, look what the PS2 can do? Ken Kutaragi was up there going, look what the PS2 can do with this bullshit. But you know what? And a couple of years later, he did more cocaine and fucking came out with a cell processor. He must have done a line of coke off somebody's ass and convinced Sony to use a cell processor for the PS3. That fucking thing doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But he got it over the line. Ken Kutaragi's a fucking genius, right?
He runs on cocaine apparently.
He runs on cocaine, right? But that was all bullshit about the emotion engine, right? And honestly, a lot of the games that were on both the Dreamcast and the PS2, the Dreamcast looked better. I'm telling you now.
Mate, look, you've discussed it before, and I know, and I totally agree with you. The Dreamcast online. Great games, silent. Had the memory thing with the.
It had so much
memory
innovation.
card, the light
Yeah.
guns.
Yep.
I got
Yep.
I still got my light gun game
Yep.
with the Dreamcast, but the PS2 was DVD, so blokes could get it into the house.
Yep.
But it was the first time also we had the big problems with consoles because remember they used to scratch the disc.
Yep.
If you turned it while it was on,
never
do that.
Well, that's right. The PS2 originally was designed to be a stand-up.
That's good. Yeah,
it
stand.
was.
Yeah,
but
it
that
was.
was the worst way to do it because in any way, because the first as well, there were wired controllers.
That's right.
So if you moved the PS2 in any slight way whatsoever, it would scratch the disc.
And you could actually physically
later
do
on-
it.
Yeah, so my copy of Ready to Rumble got fucked.
pretty
Yeah.
quick, yeah.
But later on, the 360 would do that.
Oh
as
yeah.
well.
Well, yeah, we're going to get to that.
We'll
yeah.
get to that
Yeah.
later. But the PS2 had a lot of hardware issues in terms of like when you turned it to the side, it would ruin DVDs.
Yeah.
That's proof. But the DVD player was the biggest thing because right at that point, DVDs were starting to become like. It was like night and day between a VHS and a DVD.
Oh, no shit.
Right?
Yep.
And so this thing was an affordable DVD player and it played games and it was a PlayStation.
And on par with the Panasonic standalone DVD player.
Yeah.
It was actually a very good.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Yeah.
wasn't a bad DVD
That was the
player.
only way we convinced Dad to get one, right?
Yeah, we had because the old man wanted a DVD player, and we're like, well,
Why don't you get a PlayStation?
why don't you get a PlayStation 2? Because then we can watch DVDs and
play
we can play
games.
games. And he's like, all right. So we got because a PlayStation 2. How much did that?
Was
go
I working
for?
at EB at that stage?
$750.
I can't remember.
You were working at EB. You were.
Yeah, it was $750.
Yeah. So again, so that's back in those days, money. So that's what 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying.
A week's wage.
Yeah.
Easy. Yeah.
So this is why I'm saying I think the PS5 will easily be in Australian dollars $700.
Oh, easy.
Right?
Yeah.
And people will whinge about that, but they have. You'll agree with me with this one as well. Not only are consoles cheaper now, but games are way cheaper
Well,
than
the
they
other
used
thing-
to be,
Absolutely.
right?
Well, the
so
other
remember games on a Megadrive? They were
fucking
120
expensive.
Australian
Yeah.
bucks.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were in pounds, but here they were about
Yeah,
110.
50 quid, $100, yeah.
Yeah.
Insane,
Yeah.
right? Now with day one releases at JB Hi-Fi, they're $69 usually. A new game,
Yeah.
brand new game.
Sometimes
right.
they bounce back up after
They
that.
no, well, JB's got
A day one thing.
they got a day one thing now,
Yeah.
and then the day after the release, it goes back to recommended retail, goes to back to $79.
Or 89 or whatever it is.
Well, it's
yeah.
usually $79 is the RRP, but then the day of the release, they'll drop it down by $10. That's their little thing. I think they do it for most of their games. But they do that very secretive. They don't really promote it that
Yeah.
well.
Well, the other thing people don't think of as well, how long do you keep a console for? It's a fairly long time.
It's about
Yeah.
7 years now.
Yeah.
Used to
Yeah,
be-
so 7 years for a $500-600 investment isn't
Yeah.
horrific when you think about it.
No, it's cheap as, you
Yeah.
know. The PS2, I liked it towards the end. I really, really dug that system. And I've told the story where that was my main system until, like, even with the Xbox.
But then,
You know?
but remember then,
Pedro was...
Pedro then had the X. He
had
was
the
Xbox.
Yeah.
And he showed me Halo.
well, you know what?
And that was one of those pivotal
That was a
moments for
game
me.
changer.
Yeah, that was a game. I needed an. I bought an Xbox just for Halo.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people did.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you this because this, they'll say he backs the wrong horse so many times.
Yeah, I do.
I was in Parramatta and they were at Xbox Live and I was playing virtual tennis against someone in Perth and I thought this is awesome. So I went and got it. So him and Pedro come round.
This is true.
And,
This is true.
And they absolutely slaughtered me.
Yeah.
They were taking the piss. And Monkey with his little friends. He's playing with his
Because
little friends.
he had a headset on.
Had a headset on.
And I go, is someone telling you to go that they've had sex with your mother or some bullshit?
Yeah.
I was making up all
This is
sorts of-
guy Growy we were talking about
Yeah,
later.
yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out to Growy. So, you know, and as I say,
That's
I
what
met
you
some really top blokes. There used to be a guy called Deaf Aussie. I
yeah,
actually met him
yes,
once
yes.
in Parrot, EB. Top blokes. And we used to play great and have a great laugh. And he's there taking the piss, going, with your little friends.
I
You
think
never
it's-
take off. It's people with their little friends.
you know
And
what?
now it's the way gaming
Well,
works.
but here's the thing, right? I was wrong, but in my small defence, so was Sony, because when the PS3 came out,
Yeah.
that was nothing in terms of online capabilities. The PSN was nothing compared to Xbox Live when the Xbox 360 came out.
Could you go online on the PS2?
Yeah, yes, but they had a really weird adapter. You had to buy the
And
adapter.
it wasn't the interface like Xbox
No,
Live. Live was so
no,
easy.
no. Mate, I'm telling you now, people whinge about PSN on the PS4. They've got no fucking idea. When I got my PS3, you know I was the only one that got a PS3
Yeah.
out of our little group.
Yeah.
I got my PS3 in 2007, and back then, the store, the online store, it was a fucking website. And you used to navigate the website with their little twin sticks on your DualShock 3.
Pain in the ass.
It was shit.
Yeah.
There was no cross-party chat, right, up until the PS4, but the PS3 never had it. So if you go back as far as the PS2 now, and you're talking PS2 versus Xbox original, which is what you're talking about, the PS2 had nothing, none of that bullshit, none, right? And when Xbox released Xbox Live, that was unbelievable. And I've shitted on Xbox a lot, and they fucking deserve it. And we'll talk about it at some point. Yeah. Right, in real detail. But I'll give Microsoft credit. They have been extremely innovative in a lot of ways. No one has produced an online service like Microsoft have.
Absolutely.
No one has,
Totally
right?
agree.
And to the point where even Sony now have gone in bed with Microsoft in terms of the future with, how do you pronounce it, Azure? They're relying on their service or their servers to improve their online PSN service, right? No one comes close to Microsoft on that, right? I think you'd have to be an idiot to argue that point.
Right.
But back in those days, the Xbox original, that online component
changed everything.
It changed
Party
everything.
chats.
Did it have party chat or did
you can get in a group, man, because we used to have little groups.
Because the Xbox 360 originally didn't have cross-party chat.
No, they didn't.
They did later.
They brought it in.
They brought it in, and that changed the game too. Because now you could talk to me while you're playing Gears of War, and I'd be playing, I don't know, Halo, and that was a game changer. It's like, what do you mean? You're just randomly, oh, hi. And it got to the point with the Xbox 360, I don't really want to get into it in this podcast, but you'd rely on the Xbox to know where your friends were.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
You used to ring me going, are you all right? You haven't been on the Xbox for a couple of days.
But we still do.
We still do. Yeah. He'll ring me, go, are you all right? I haven't seen you on...
Isn't that because you disconnected your Xboxes so you wouldn't show up your gaming
we'll get
points?
to that. That's another story. But if you legit were not on the PlayStation or actually back then the Xbox, are you around?
Yeah.
Are you all right?
That's right.
It'd have last online 4 or 5 days. Fuck, something's wrong with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's true. That changed everything.
Yeah.
That was amazing, right? And when you're telling me that story about the Xbox original, and I can clearly see it, you were sitting in your living room with your headset on. You look like a fucking dork. As much as I love you, you look like an absolute dork, right? But
guilty as charged.
But I didn't appreciate that was the future.
Yeah.
I couldn't see it, right? But in my defense, Sony couldn't see it either because they didn't have that service well up until, the PS4, to be honest. You could have, on the PS3, you had in-game chat, but you didn't have cross-party chat until the PS4 came out. And so they were so far off the mark themselves. So if I couldn't see it, a big corporation like that didn't see it's even worse.
But at the same time, that particular corporation didn't have Skype.
No.
And that big corporation,
Yeah.
unlike Microsoft, which bases part of its business model on, communication in the corporate world, goes, oh, you know what, that would actually be pretty cool for gaming. So they had a very big head start, which is...
Only time you ever hurt me, Daniel, that was. Any time you ever hurt me.
No, I've hurt you other times.
No.
The getaway was a
This
good
one
one.
really-
No. That was banter. But then you two were vicious.
Yeah, but you know what, Pedro? Okay, so
did Pedro. Yeah.
You could say to me, well, you're a dumb fuck, but Pedro's intelligent, right? And he should know better. And that little prick fucking stood in your lounge room and he fucking berated you, right? You know what's even worse about that little prick? He fucking won't come on this show now and sit there and say, well, no, actually, you were wrong. It was only you that berated the drunken monkey. I was all for it. I knew that would be the future, but he won't even give me the fucking courtesy of even sitting in that chair and telling me this shit.
He won't even listen to this podcast.
You know what friendship buys you these days, drunken monkey?
Nothing.
Nothing, not a dick, right? That fuck has not listened to one fucking podcast. You know, the other day, right, shout out to Cyberdunk. Shout out to him. I haven't seen that guy for fucking ages. He came on this podcast, and then I said to Pedro, I caught up with Cyberdunk. He goes, how is he? I go, well, you might want to know. And
Listen to the podcast.
I shared the link of this bullshit podcast that I do to Pedro so he can listen to it. Haven't heard anything. Not one fucking word out of him, because there's some shit on there that he's going to get upset about, and I'm waiting,
and he's building,
and I'm waiting for him to bite. I'm waiting for him to say, you're a fucking prick, right? But I know he hasn't listened to it because he hasn't said anything to me, and that hurts me. That
love
fucking, and you know what's even worse? The fucking prick commutes. He sits on a bus. He doesn't drive to work. He's got no excuse. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah, I listen to you guys driving.
Yep, that's right.
Work, yeah.
Be careful. We might send you to sleep. It's very dangerous. So we're up to, where are we up to on your list?
PS2, Xbox have come in, and then I guess we've got to get to our mate Maddie. We're not going to go. Not going to in depth in this one.
So that I did tell that story.
Yeah, I know you did, and you mentioned it, and
that was that was an amazing gaming
evening. It sold us. We went out and bought them
because I told the story. Yeah. Shout out to the ginger one.
Yep.
Right. He was a pioneer. I don't think we realised it at the time.
Yeah.
Remember when he had that business that was on GameZoo? Right.
Yeah.
Now, we're also not sponsored by GameZoo. Roll it, monkeys. If you ever want to find a game online or you're just curious about what's available, check out GameZoo. That's right. GameZoo used to be in existence back in 2006, but it's probably not online anymore. I don't know. But I still do have a GameZoo t-shirt. It's well fucking too small, but you know what? I still have one. GameZoo. GameZoo.com.au, I think it might well be. We're not sponsored by GameZoo, but the ginger one should well sponsor us. It's not on there, is it?
Not there anymore.
The closest thing that I can find is Planet Zoo Games.
He used to have a business.
He did, and he sold games.
And he sold games on it. And he
we both bought our 360 through him.
Yeah, so what actually happened was, before all of this, he hit me up and said, you don't mind helping me out by testing... purchasing games online.
It's not there.
No, he's gone. It's gone now. I mean, this is back in 2006. And he was saying to me, I've got this business. He's a very smart guy. He's always worked for himself.
Yes.
And he says to me, look, I've got this business that I'm trying to get off the ground. It's an online business. I'm like, what do you mean by that? Now, that's amazing to think that. Because back in 2006, there wasn't a lot of, there probably was, but I certainly didn't do it, buying shit online. Like, you know now how you go to JB Hi-Fi and their website and you buy something online, or Amazon, whatever it is, eBay, and you click the button and it goes to your shopping cart and you hit the completion button, bang. Well, he set up that business, I think, before these other...
Yes, he did, yeah.
These other mainstream businesses I just said were set up, and he said, can you do some testing for me? And he goes, oh, mate, really thank you for that. I'll meet you at the DrunknMunky's barbecue. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And we were talking about it at the barbecue, and then he says to me, do you remember this? He says, have you guys seen the new Xbox? And I'm like, I'll be honest, man, I didn't even know it was out.
Neither would I, yeah.
Right? I'll be really upfront. I wasn't into gaming back then. I've told the story. There was a period of time between 2004 and 6, I didn't do much at all. I still played the occasional game on the PS3, but I just bought my place, and I had a new job, and I didn't have the time. A bit like what you said before, and I wasn't into it. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, it's come out." You're like, "Well, is it as good as my original Xbox?" He goes, "Oh, shit's on that, man. Do you want to come over and have a look?" Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And we jumped in the car, and we went to his place, and he fired up. What was it?
Need for Speed.
What type? Which one was it though? I couldn't remember it when I said the story.
I suppose we just, you look it up. I think
Most Wanted.
Most Wanted wasn't out yet.
Just Need for Speed. You'll look it up in a minute. And there was one other.
Oh, is this 360?
Yeah, 360 launch game, 2006. But he fired that up.
Yeah.
I remember the chick. She came out. She goes, "Hi, I'm Josie Marin," and she goes, "Wear a seatbelt. Don't try these stunts at home." And I'm like, "Ooh, shit!"
And the cops started chasing us.
The graphics looked amazing. And you know what? That was the era of going from standard definition graphics to high definition graphics. I've never seen anything like that. That was a big jump. That was a huge jump. And I'm like, this is amazing. And you and I both on the spot said, "Can we buy one?" And he goes, "I'll order it through the store, his online store."
Yeah. It was Most Wanted.
It was Most Wanted. Okay, all right, there you go. I was right.
Well done.
And so he said, "I'll order it through my shop." And I think I get a phone call from him and says, "I've got it. Come and pick it up." And I drove to his place, picked it up, hooked it up. I've told the story. It was a perfect storm of everything I ever wanted.
Yeah.
It was so awesome. Everything I ever wanted.
Do you remember the free game it came with?
The first game
It was a Rockstar game.
table tennis.
Table tennis, that's
It
right.
was table tennis,
Yeah,
Rockstar
game with the
table
table
tennis.
tennis. Yeah,
That's right, it did
that's
too.
right, yeah.
Yeah, people forget about that Rockstar table tennis. But it was awesome. But then you know what he did? He came over to my place and he goes, I just want to see what the setup's like, because he knew I had that surround sound system. And he came and he had a look at the dashboard and he goes, oh, you've only got 360 gamer points. You need to fix that. Because I didn't know what he really meant. Yeah, mate, he was a drug dealer. I'm telling you now, he fucked my life, that bloke.
But also gamer points was the start of that was our heroin.
That was
because
bad.
me and you became obsessed, and I know you've gone into the store, and I really want to know about my part of this because I was your partner in crime, and it became obsessive, mate. I mean, we're grown men.
This was bad.
We became obsessed.
This is bad.
Achievement points.
Yeah, it was bad because I didn't know what I was doing. Because I said to him, what do you mean? He goes, well, man, you've only got 360 points. He goes, and then he started playing with it. Because I literally just got it. Might have had it for a day. Hadn't had time to play it because I'd gone to work or something. And he came over the next day and he's pulling up. Remember, it was the blades on the dashboard. There was the blades. We'll go into this more on another podcast, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what do you mean by this? And he goes, well, who are your friends? And he put me as his friend or whatever. And he goes, I've got, I don't know, 5,000 gamer points. And I go, hang on a second, you got more gamer points than me. And that was bad. You know, I get this little addiction. And it was like, that little voice in my head goes, you want more gamer points than the ginger one?
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, no, I don't need this bullshit. I'm a grown man. And he goes, and then in my head, but he's better than you. And I'm like, but what do you mean he's better than me? This is all going on in my head. At this split second moment, I'm going, but what do you mean he's better than me? He has more gamer points than you, therefore he's more popular.
You can't lose to the ginger one.
And I'm like, but in my head, I'm like, what do you mean I'm going to lose to the ginger one? And he's like, but if you have more gamer points than the ginger one,
if you had more gamer points, he would love you.
You'd be more popular.
He's got a nice lady, you haven't.
That's right.
Nobody's the point.
That's right. That's right. Right? That's right, man. I'm telling you now. That's true. That's 100% true.
Yep.
And then it fucking spiraled out of control. But
Well, what happened was you got yours, and it was a perfect storm for me because I was doing my degree and I'd finished it, handed in my very last. Literally,
didn't you sell your Xbox as well? You actually sold your original Xbox.
I did because I needed to clear because I had two little girls.
Yeah.
I was I was a grown man and putting myself through the degree. So I really I was dedicated, and so I did it. I posted my very last degree, the paperwork I had to do. I said, right, you're done. I went to Harvey Norman. I bought a plasma TV.
Oh, you went all in.
I'd ordered the Xbox, and 12 hours later, my old man passed away. So I had to literally get on a plane to London. So I was gone for a good month. By which time you lot were racking up the points.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
But when I came back and then I set it all up, etc. You were about 5,000, 6,000 ahead of me. Maddie was the top man, and I went game on, challenge.
Because you in your just part of your personality, you're very competitive.
I used to be. I don't think I'm so much
you've
now.
toned it down now. Yeah. The Virtua Tennis days. Virtua Tennis days. That was bad.
Yeah,
right?
but when you're young, it was alpha male stuff.
It was alpha male. I'm the top dog. But the real bullshit of the gamer point started when Pedro got his console, and I knew it would happen. I fucking knew.
You said he'll come for us.
He'll come for you, right? Because he doesn't say he's competitive. Well, back then he certainly was. Not so much now, but back then he really, really was. And it was fucking anything. Anything you had, his was better. Not being nasty, but certainly when it came to games, because he thought he was the top gamer. And
he is.
And he fucking is, man. I've told the story about
gaming.
I've told the story about the TIE Fighter, right? He 100% goes all in, and he does things I don't know how he does them with games, right? Or in 2 o'clock in the morning, he'll beat Dark Souls or some bullshit he'll do, right? But he was like, oh, what are these things called? Gamer points. I'm like, oh. And then I remember sending an email to you going, don't give him any games because he'll beat us.
Yeah.
And he's
Well, I smashed it. I was the first to 100,000, which I thought, that was it. That was my holy grail of life.
We're grown men.
It's not a degree or anything else. I had 100,000 gamer points, but he was coming for you.
Yeah, he was coming for me.
And he said, Mickey's going to get me. And I said, no, he's not. We are not going to let this happen. So then I'm starting in my profession. I could borrow games, and remember the Avatar? You could get 1,000 gamer points in less than 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So we get that, and then there'd be times when I would get a whole batch of games, some from even from Blockbuster.
Do you remember you used to say to me, come over for dinner?
Yeah.
And we used to call them gamer point parties or something
Yes.
like that. And you go, come over for dinner, and I've worked out that I can get you 10,000 gamer points tonight in about an hour.
And you go, no way.
Okay, no way. And he goes, I've done my research, man. And he's got all these bullshit fucking games, right? Short of Hannah Montana or something, right? And I'm like, really? And we just used to do some silly shit.
The games had to have some kudos because he went for that game Jericho, and we panned him.
That's right. There was a game.
Terrible game.
He got the worst game. It was like given 1 out of 10 by every gaming website out there, and he got 1,000 gamer points on it. And you know who else you gave shit to? The ginger one, because he got Viva Pinata. Remember that? You said you got 1,000 gamer points of Viva Pinata.
Do you know what pisses me off about that
ages.
shit? Because Oblivion was only 500 gamer points.
No, it was 1,000.
No, was it?
Yes, it was.
Well, that was like the first.
But almost
and only,
impossible to get.
well,
like hard gamer
that
points.
was the only one I got 1,000 gamer points
Wow.
because I got the full kit, and that's when I was living in Japan.
Yeah.
And I couldn't keep up with you fucks.
Yeah.
good, though.
Yeah.
So I knew Pedro got this little bug into him.
We had that tennis game once. You had to hit a ball over the net. I think it was 500 times without missing it. So we just sat there eating and just going,
Tick, tick, tick.
yeah. And it popped up, and so he's giggling away.
Yeah. And do you remember when there was one night when it just got silly? It was like I got 30,000 gamer points in like a couple of hours.
If you switched off the Xbox, go offline, you could get the gamer points, and then when you went back online, it'd be added to your total.
That's right.
He was, I think, about 1,000 ahead of you.
Yeah, that's right.
And you know what's coming because you can tell this bit. And then we got all these gamer points, 30,000. We smashed it over a weekend.
Yeah. There was
we got NBA games. That was the Avatar. So 1,000 there.
King Kong.
That was 1,000.
That was 1,000 points.
Lost.
Oh, that's right.
Lost the game.
Yeah,
we did lost, and I would talk you through it and go, just do this.
Yeah.
And we smashed it. And then you turn on the Xbox, and he phones you, and he says those famous lines.
Well, what happened was.
You think you're funny?
Yeah, he did. Going back a step though, remember there was one night though. Remember we had one of those gamer point parties.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Beautiful.
And you're loading discs in, and you're turning it offline and doing all sorts of silly shit. And then we're getting gamer points you didn't even know we could get, and you're like, oh, we're just taking the piss now. This is bad. We should stop. This is really bad. But yeah, I bought my Xbox. Remember we used to take our Xbox over there?
Oh, you'd bring yours to me, so
yeah.
I would sometimes put them on.
Yeah, that's right.
So we wouldn't go online.
That's right, yeah.
And then eventually you gave me your password.
That's
so I could
right.
just go on as you.
That's right. He used to say to me,
he
he used to say, give me your password and I'll log into your account and I'll give you I've got this game. I can do it in half an hour for you.
Yeah.
I'll give you 1,000 gamer points. I'm like, oh, cool. And the next thing you know, I log on again as myself. I've got an extra 1,000 gamer points. But you know what happened was, this is legit. This is what's even funnier than it really is that one night I was just playing innocently, and no matter what we did, you and I, he was always neck and neck.
Yeah.
And there was one night
It shows how much games he played.
mate. Well, I told you,
You guys are rigging the system,
mate.
And we had some in reserve. We had stuff in reserve.
Mate, but I told you the story how out of control he was back in these days. No bullshit. He would fucking go to work, right? He used to have a laundry full of shirts he used to discard after coming to work, and on his washing machine he had brand new in the pack shirts. So he'd go downstairs, put a brand new shirt on from the pack, go to work his ass off. Now I'll give credit where credit's due. He'd work his fucking ring off, right?
Yeah.
Then he'd work his ass off, come back home, drive through a McDonald's, get McDonald's food, eat while driving, get out of the car, sit on his couch, loosen his tie a little bit, turn on the Xbox, and fucking go for it.
That's a healthy
right?
lifestyle.
Oh, mate, I'll tell you now, he lived fucking dangerously, right? And he did that so many times, but he was all in. And one night after we did our bullshit gamer point parties, I was very, very innocent because no matter what we used to do, he'd always nibble at me. He'd always be ahead of me. And one night we might have had dinner with him and he's like, and you might have said, I don't know who's leading who. 1 minute you're ahead, next minute Retro Dan's ahead, next minute, Pedro's, you're ahead. I don't know, I can't keep up, but I'm just sitting back on the sidelines because you were like fucking 150,000 gamer points ahead of us, right? Remember when Pedro just said, oh, fuck, I know what you do for a living, got all this fucking time in your hands. Remember that? Pedro got really nasty over it. So one day, this is no bullshit, we're neck and neck, no matter what you do for me, he just nibbles at me, right? So I think I was maybe 20 or 30 points behind him, and I was just playing a game, and I got a couple of achievement points, and before you know it, I switched it off and went to bed. Well, that day at lunch, I went out for lunch, and I got a phone call in my car over the Bluetooth, and no bullshit, he goes, I think you think you're fucking funny, don't you? I go, what? You think you're funny? I go, what? He says, you did it, didn't you? Deliberately, to piss me off. I go, no. Because you think you're fucking funny, you and your little friend. I know what you've been doing. You've been whoring yourself out with him, right? I go, I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, last night you deliberately finished your play session 5 gamer points ahead of me, total gamer point score. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about because I legit didn't know what I was talking about, right? And he's lost his fucking mind. He goes, and every time he saw gamer points go up, no bullshit, Jason, relaxation, he'd go, you and your friend think you're fucking funny, don't you? Whoring yourself out. You're gamer point horse. That's what he used to call us. What a horrible thing to say.
That big session we did broke him though. Remember when we did the 30? We smashed it. Yeah. And that's the time when he came round the house member and K-Dog, my little K-Dog, she goes, she sat on the sofa and he come, and they had some problem with my Xbox and he came round and she goes, don't turn it on, he'll see your gamer score.
I couldn't quite remember the details of that story because and then
you say the darndest
things.
That's
right. He used to say the kids say the darndest things. Mate, we broke him.
Yeah, because we did that massive session, I think over about 3 hours. It was a long weekend.
Because he tried his heart out, man. This is before he was married and all the rest of it. So he played so many games so often.
Mm-hmm. And he was probably playing PC games as well.
No. He was purely Xbox.
Because
you forget. Everyone forgets, man. Everyone's forgotten. When the Xbox 360... We'll go to this at another topic, another time, another episode. The Xbox 360 was so almost perfect as a console. It was you'd never seen it before.
Yeah,
I love that console.
I still love it.
You never saw that interface before. You never saw achievement points before. You never had on the Xbox Live look that good or perform that good before. You know, everything, the controller, perfect, fucking everything was perfect on that console, right? And so even Pedro, when he got his, he dropped his PC for it. No bullshit, he did. Because he was playing on a PC, the one that he built for me. We built PCs together at the same time to play Doom 3, by the way.
Yep.
That's how we were. That's how we rolled. And once that PC was maybe 1 or 2 years old, the 360 came out, and he dropped that PC to play the 360. That's how fucking good that console was.
It was the most social console. We would also get together, and this is where my 2 girls came in and started gaming with me. And you were doing it as well, Rock Band.
Yeah.
And Rock Band
was awesome.
Yeah, my girls loved it. And still do. We still, even now, in their 20s, we will play Rock Band and we'll sing the songs. And if they brought in some pop, you would come round and we would just have Rock Band sessions.
Yeah, shout out to Rocking Rudy. Because you know why? Rocking Rudy, right? Shout out to him.
He needs to come on the show.
He's coming. I booked him. He's coming on. I'm going to book him, right? So it's Fantastic Phil. Except for one motherfucker. I wonder who that is. Right? So when we have the Christmas party, right? When we have the Invert the Why Christmas special, and
stop planning that shit.
Everybody's invited, right? And we go to Piss Week World together. There's going to be one person not on that list.
He's at home trying to get more achievement points.
That's right. Well, give it up, Pedro. That was 2007 or 2008. Let it go, you fuck.
He still hasn't caught up.
He still hasn't caught up. You know what?
Yeah.
I'll give you a fucking red hot tip, right? Before I lose my track of thought. We were playing Master Chief Collection on the Xbox One, and he logs in for the first time in years, which is another story we'll get to in itself. And he looks at his brother's gamer points and goes, little prick, he's got more than me. Then he looks at mine and he goes, fuck you, man. So he's still got the bug. He's still got that bug. He's still got that little nibble, right? He won't let it go, man. He won't let it go, man. He won't let it go. I was trying to think what I was saying before.
I don't know.
I've fucking forgotten. No, but the Xbox 360 was just perfect. And he, like I said, he let it go. He let that PC go, and he played the 360. But so did a lot of people, because it was that fucking good.
Oh,
these days it's different now. It's different now. But back then, when the 360 came out, that was such powerful hardware, and nothing came close to being that innovative on the actual screen.
I've not had any more. The best memories of gaming will be 360 and probably never get beaten. Ever.
Probably not, no.
From Tiger's been mentioned, from Rock Band to
that's what I was gonna
General
say.
Ram.
That's what I was going to say. We'll get to it. Rock and Rudy used to love when we played Rock Band.
Yes.
Right? And I'd do Hast. I go,
Do Hast.
I go, do Hast.
Rudy Totten.
And I go, he used to fucking lose his mind. He'd go do it again, then I go, do hast me. And I go,
Shout out to Nuke and Neil, because that's one of his favourite songs.
Actually, Nuke and Neil, no bullshit. He's fluent in German, and he knows exactly how to sing that, and he knows what it means.
I bumped into Nuke and Neil the other day.
Oh, yeah. Did you book the little prick?
Yeah, oh, mate, he wants to come on and talk Tool.
All right, we'll do that podcast very soon. Yeah, no, he used to love it. I used to go, and the Rudy Tutter. He used to love that shit. I don't know why. He used to fucking lose his mind over it. No, we'll talk about the 360 another time. That's
shout out to 360.
Shout out to it, man.
Rest in peace, because I
now I have said, and I'll go on record, I have more love for the PS3 now, but only because I said it that the 360 came in with a bang, but went out with a whimper.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I want to lead into another topic with you and another podcast, because that's big, because I want to get your perspective on that. How the 360 was fucking awesome at the start, and then all of a sudden E3 Connectimals and Connect.
Yeah, but we'll get into
that another time, because that'll just piss me off.
We need fairy bread first.
Yes, I think we have. I think we're.
But we were
almost
talking
done.
about fantastic gaming moments, and as we said, Rock Band, got Tiger Woods. General Ram, when we stayed
Gears of War,
night trying to finish Gears of War 2, was that General Ram, wasn't it?
That was it? I think it was the first one.
Was it the first?
So it's right at the end where you got to face General Ram.
Yes.
And you're on the trains.
Yep.
And he's just a prick, and he goes, "Die, Skywalker," like this, and you're like, "You prick!" And he kept killing us, but we finally beat him at about 3:00 in the morning, and we're jumping up and down, going, "Couldn't have done it without you, brother." "Oh no, man, you're the best, man." And then you'd be lying in bed going, "I'm the king of the universe. I've just beat General Ram."
Couldn't sleep.
Man. The adrenaline's going like, "This is awesome, man. It's fucking cool. I beat General Ram for like the 20th time." Well, that's the other thing about the 360 too. I don't want to go too much into it, but co-op gaming.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really remember many consoles. I know it was, but it was more like Link. Like you get cables. What was it? The multi-tap for the PS.
Yeah, the multi-tab you
PlayStation
to plug all the controllers.
But the 360 was all that shit was online, and you're right to laugh at me.
The camera putting your face into Rainbow Six.
Oh,
you could actually put your own face into Rainbow Six. It was a poker game. You could do it.
That's right.
It was such a good machine.
Yeah, that was it was ahead of its time in a lot of ways, and that's why. Look, you're right to laugh at me for laughing at you with the original Xbox, because I didn't see it.
Yeah,
I didn't see that the 360 would pick up on that and then run away with it and come up with games like Rainbow Six and having the camera and then scanning your face into and then achievement points and cross-party chat. I didn't see any of that shit. You know what I mean? But in my defense, Sony didn't either.
Yeah,
you know. I think I need to take a piss. Drunken Monkey, do you need to take a piss? Have we said everything we wanted to say?
I think we have, yes. It's been very enjoyable.
Until the next topic.
Absolutely.
Jason, Relaxation, have you said everything you wanted to say?
Yep.
Silence!
Ow.
Drunken Monkey, that's it? You got nothing else to say?
No, nothing else to say.
Mate, thanks for coming back on.
Thanks for having me. Been fantastic.
Mate,
thank you.
Thank you for coming back and talking to us about memory lane and all that sort of stuff. Mate, whenever I think about the 360, I think about The shenanigans with you and Pedro, that was insane. That was you'll never get that again. That's the shame of it. I mean,
You definitely weren't from Pedro.
No, but I mean, as much as I love, would you agree? As much as I love the PS4, right? I think it's been a great console. It doesn't come close to those days back on the 360. I don't think.
No, not at all.
No,
not at all.
That
Not
was
even
just
close.
that was another fucking time, man. That was another world.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming back and telling us about memory lane and all that
you.
sort of
Thanks for
stuff.
having me.
Jason, Relaxation, thank you for being on the show. Don't go changing.
I'm not saying anything because he tells me to be silent.
That's right. You be silent, you little prick.
You got my cheese whiz, boy.
I did get you a cheese.
I know you got me a
fucking
cheese. I know
did.
you did. Thanks.
I'm sorry I ran it about the 360. I couldn't help it. It's a rabbit hole I can't get out of. I've been devastated ever since Pedro got more gamer points than I did. And then we had more gamer point parties and we tried to outdo him and he fucking almost had a mental breakdown over it. It's a rabbit hole I can't get out of. He's never forgiven me. That's why he won't come on the show. And until next time, you little gamer point whores, we'll go down some more retro and more bullshit. But until then, you can roll it, monkeys.
I don't know if calling our audience whores is a great idea.
Who gives a fuck?